everybody. Welcome. Welcome to On the Same Page. Wow. I didn't change anything. Shh, don't look at that. Don't look at that. Chat. Don't look at that. I didn't change not a shit thing. Oops. Who's this book by? I don't fucking know. Thanks, Cass. Thank you. I'll change the rest of that once we get started. I just need to change this. I wasn't ready. I said I was ready. I wasn't ready. All right. Welcome to on the Same Page. You guys ready? I'll unmute you. Okay.
Hello.
Everyone say hi, Cass. Hi, Ash, because we're recording for the first time today, and not a second time. And I don't have the wrong backgrounds on at all right now. Nope. Why would I do that? Okay. If you've not been here before, welcome in. This is our Friends Book Club podcast. Yeah. Today we're going to be doing Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. It's going to be a good time. I feel like that's too small. That's fine. Yeah, this is our non-spoiler section. We'll do some intros, and then we'll get into it. Okay. Ashley, do you want to go first this time?
Sure. My name is Ashley, aka Ash, aka Ass. Zen, I like Ashity and Castly. That's pretty cute. I go by she, her. And yeah.
My name is Cassidy, aka Cass, aka Cash. Cassidy is what one of my clients at work calls me. Goes like Cassidy? Yeah. Did you ask a question?
I was just about to say, Ashley didn't ask our intro question. What's our intro question?
Okay, I'm gonna steal this from, I know a bunch of other podcasts do this, but what's something you would recommend? Like, what's a recommendation you would give?
In general?
Yeah. Okay, I have one. Well, okay, this is gonna be really silly, and you can judge me if you want, but I like AI, no, not AI, sorry. If Ellie and Cassidy knows this, I like slime videos. And so there's this one channel on TikTok, of course I don't know the name, but it's AI, but it's glass fruit cutting. And it looks like glass, and it's so satisfying.
That's crazy sounding.
You should check it out. Yeah, it's very nice. It's very pretty looking. It sounds nice. So if you like ASMR, you should look up glass fruit cutting. It's very nice. Anyway. Cassidy, what would you recommend? Just in general, anything. You're like, you should watch, read, go see XYZ.
I feel like I'm speaking to a crowd that's probably already on this wavelength. But I need everybody to watch the show Freerin. It's so good.
That is on my list. I need to watch it.
Who the fuck are you, Kylie?
I just realized, I think I put the wrong title for Egg and Spoon. So we've been in Remarkably Bright Creatures this whole time.
That's
Whoops.
so funny. We
Really?
are the Remarkably Bright Creatures.
Oops. No, you did that. Oh no, Zen did that. Slay Zen! Oh my god, I'm the best mod ever. I love Zen, guys. Zen's the best. One day Zen's gonna do a bartending stream and we're all gonna go.
Ooh.
Zen makes amazing bartending drinks and is amazing.
Zen gets us all drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thanked you because you fixed it. Yeah. What are you talking about? Anyway. Frieren is a
Yay.
anime show.
Yes.
No, Mika just said that they started that with Friends.
Oh, she started that with Friends. Nice.
It's so good.
Ooh.
Except for the next season doesn't come out till January.
Legends. Oh, I should introduce myself. Hi, my name is Kylie, also known as Kiele, Kyle, Stress Lemon Zest, LZ, Zesty, Stressed.
Driver of this book.
I'm the owner of this house. And Keely, exactly. Pronouns are she, they. And recommendation, is that what you just asked? That's the question?
Yeah.
I need everyone to watch Ted Lasso. It's awesome. It's like a warm spot in my heart. I didn't think I would care about it because I don't give a shit about soccer. Also, if you hear a noise in the background, it's my AC. I'm sorry. I had it off for a little while and then I got too hot. So you guys are just gonna have to deal with it. It's hot in here. So, it's 81. And I refuse not to have the AC on. Anyway, it's amazing. I didn't think I was gonna give a shit about it, but the soccer is secondary to the drama and the cute storytelling, and just the characters are very lovable and very endearing. It's very smart and funny and witty, and it's awesome. It's awesome. Zen, I'll give you my Apple TV login info and you can watch it. It's awesome. Really good.
Nice.
Okay. So if you have not been here before, this is the non-spoiler section for Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. Here we go. Real quick before we get into anything, here's the warnings. Warning for this book is suicide, aging, death, family trauma, drug addiction, and other related topics may be discussed. So if that's not your jam today, get out of here. Get out of here.
See you next time.
Yeah. This might not be a time for you.
Okay.
So for this section, non-spoilers, we're gonna do a little bit of a synopsis, and then we'll go over our overall thoughts and feelings, the weight, content weight, which is the author's tone of voice, and the weight of what the fuck am I trying to say? Story weight. That's
Yes.
what that meant. Would we recommend it? And our rating out of 5 stars.
All right.
So, Ash, do you have the synopsis, or do I need to grab it real quick?
I do. No, I got it.
Oh, look at her
Okay.
being on top of it. Go for it.
I'm on top of it. Okay. After Tova Sullivan's husband died, she began working the night shift at the Sowell Bay Aquarium, mopping floors and tidying up. Keeping busy as always helped her cope, which she's been doing since her 18-year-old son Eric mysteriously vanished on a boat in Puget Sound over 30 years ago. Tova becomes acquainted with curmudgeonly. She becomes acquainted with Marcellus, a giant Pacific octopus living at the aquarium. Marcellus knows more than anyone can imagine, but wouldn't dream of lifting one of his 8 arms for his human captors, until he forms a remarkable friendship with Tova. Ever the detective, Marcellus deduces what happens the night Tova's son disappeared, and now Marcellus must use every trick in his old invertebrate body can muster and to unearth the truth for her before it's too late. No.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
And this was Ashley's pick. This is what month? May.
Oh gosh, May.
This is May's. Okay, so Ashley, since it's your book, do you want to go first?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
I would say overall tone, right? Hold on. or I guess like I'll say the weight. I feel like there's some, like the trigger warning suggests, there are some heavy topics, but for me personally, I feel like they were kind of wasn't presented in a heavy way or in a like shocking way. So I feel like the weight is pretty like middle of the road. Like there's some sad parts, but there's some lighthearted parts. It was a pretty, I think, easy read. Um, I feel like pace was probably middle pace. Um, well, I would say, I don't know, like medium to slow pacing, moving. Um, I would say, what am I missing? I did weight, tone,
Overall
rating.
thoughts.
I I did like this book. I felt like it was very slow at the beginning. I think it's kind of like a dual perspective. Like you get a bunch of perspectives of characters, like almost every chapter is a different character, and I feel like you jump around so much at the beginning that you're like, and what does that have to do with this? And then but it does tie together very nicely middle to end of the book, but getting through the first half of the book was a little rough for me. Um Yeah, but I liked it. Um,
Would you recommend this book?
oh, nice. I would. I think if you're looking for something like, I feel like almost like a palate cleanser. You're kind of like, I don't know. Like I feel like this is a good one where it's like it's lighthearted, but it's got some depth to it. It's not too like slice of life. You know what I'm trying to say? Like there's a little mystery. It's still a little lighthearted, but there's some sad themes to it. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Rating.
rating, no. Based off of like how much I enjoyed reading this book, I think I enjoyed the story, but actually reading it, I didn't really enjoy. So I would probably say like a 3.5 or 4.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Cass, you or me?
I can go.
Okay, go for it.
I enjoyed it. I agree, Ashley, with your like palate cleanser statement, because I audiobooked this one, because I have like a 30-minute commute to and from work every day, so I've been doing a lot more audiobooks. So this one was a nice palate cleanser after Egg and Spoon. It was nice to have a story
Yes,
that
it was.
progressed. A story with a plot line that with compelling characters. Just a decently written book. I forgot how low my standards dropped following Egg and Spoon. Nothing against this book, but I was ready for it. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice, sweet story that had a lot of different elements in it that all tied together nicely. It reminded me a bit of like how, I don't know if you guys have read Agatha Christie mystery books, but I feel like they're always like such a mess in the beginning, but then it all ties together. And this book had some mystery elements to it, and so yeah, what Ashley said at the beginning, you're kind of like, why I'm not seeing why we have all these characters and all these random stories, and why this really matters. But it all comes together very well. Like there are no plot holes. So yeah, it was kind of like a surprise mystery at the end, which I enjoyed. Yeah. Weight I thought it does touch on some heavy topics, but they're not topics that the characters are like actively fighting throughout the book. I think maybe one of them is going through a tough time. Well, the two main ones, I guess, are going through a tough time, but
say all of them are going through a tough time.
They're all going. This is true. This is why there's a book. You can't have a book without a compelling story. So, yes. But yeah, so the weighty topics, but the way that they're addressed don't feel as heavy. And I thought it was a pretty light. I audiobooked it, but I thought it was a pretty light read, and it flowed nicely. So maybe like 2 out of 5 on the weight, and I'd give it like 4 overall.
Cool. Would you recommend?
Nice.
Yeah, I would. It's a good read, especially if you're just looking for something nice and simple, with a still interesting storyline.
Cool.
Excuse me.
All right, my turn.
Yeah.
Well, call me a simpleton, because I fucking love this book. I don't know. I was hyped for this book, and y'all guys are like, this book was nice. No! I love this book! It was awesome! It was awesome! I love the melodramatic octopus. He's awesome! Yeah. I loved all the characters. All the characters were great. They all had good growth. I love being thrown into something like that. That's one of my favorites. That's why I love Ghibli, because they just throw you into something, and so you get all these characters, and you're like, I don't know what the fuck's happening, but I'm ready. Let's go. And then you go on a ride, and it is so good. I think the story came together really well. I loved all the different perspectives. I feel like the writing of the perspective was different enough to where I could tell who was talking. I could really tell the voice of the characters. I thought that was really well done. I think the content of the book and like the story as a whole, I feel like can be a little heavy, but not as heavy as like Anxious People. So I would say like 2. I would agree with that. It's like a 2. And then writing style, it was really easy to like read for me. It was really easy for me to just like follow along what was going on. I could tell like who was talking. So that was like a 1. And then I really enjoyed this book. I loved it. I have already recommended it to 3 people. I've talked about this book for like a month because I was like, this book's awesome. Which I think, Cassidy, for you, Girl Beneath the Sea was like this is how you felt for Girl Beneath. I did not feel this way for Girl Beneath the Sea. I feel this way for this book though. This book was my jam. So I give this book 5 stars, obviously, because I had a good time.
Yeah.
I had a good time. It was awesome.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So before we move on to spoiler section, any other comments? Things that people should know before going in?
I don't think so.
Person who did the Irish accent for the Irish grocery store guy in the audiobook was great.
So 2 good audiobooks then.
Yes. She
Okay.
was
Great.
Okay. Sweet. Alrighty. So, we are going into the spoiler section. We are going to be there it is. We're gonna be spoiling it. So if you're like, hey, this sounds like a book that I might want to read, skedaddly daddle right now. Do it. Hurry, leave. You should read this one. Don't read the other one.
You should read this book. No.
You should read this one. It's so good. All right.
If you did read the other book and you quit, read this book.
There you go. Perfect.
It'll get you out of the slump.
It will.
Yes, this is true.
All right. Bye, Mika. Yes. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler section. Bang, bang. Take it away, Ashley.
Let's see. Okay, so we'll start with, I guess, kind of from the beginning of the book. It's just kind of Tova and Marcellus. So, what qualities do you think these 2 share that makes their friendship so special?
That they're both dying. I
They're
think,
at the end of their rope.
yeah. And they both feel trapped, just in different ways.
Yeah. I feel like
go ahead.
they also both like don't fit in with their expected group. Like Tova has her nitwits, who she's like listens to them talk and is like, I don't understand you ladies. You care about this drama. I'm just not really interested. And she feels like an outsider. And Marcellus is like, I'm way smarter than any creature. They don't know that they're just in these little cages. And so I feel like they both feel on the outside of like I guess Marcellus could have a social group, but they feel like outsiders, but in a way that's like, I'm better than this.
I feel like Marcellus, like on an intellectual level, with his other like he seems like the only in the aquarium like creature that is intelligible. Like, because when he talks about going into other, like he tried to talk to the seahorses or he tried to talk to whoever and they didn't respond. So maybe he also kind of feels alone in that sense too, of like, well, I understand on a whole different level and these other creatures with me don't understand.
Yeah.
Same way I do.
And I think also something that they share is they were both like free at one point and now are trapped. And they're searching for a way to escape. Because Tova had like a perfect family and then she lost her son and her husband. And then Marcellus was free, but then he got injured and then has been at the aquarium. So I think that they kind of relate on that. And they are both very clever, so.
Nice.
I don't know if this will go into another one of your questions, but it made me think of it that I really like Marcellus because he is quite bright in the things that he's able to do, like escape his little tank and get fast food from the trash can. But he's also like, it's funny to hear him comment because like basically you get this whole book from like, well, most of it from an octopus perspective on human life, and he comments on like things in a way that you're like, oh, silly octopus, this is just how humans are. And I find that amusing that he's so intelligent but still missing out on that like indescribable human quality of things, that humans are weird and we do weird things for weird reasons. And so hearing him tell those stories through his like super smart octopus perspective was entertaining.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
It was almost like a little comic relief too. Like if it was like Cameron would be like, I suck and no one wanted to raise me, and then it would be Marcellus and he goes, hello, a kid touched my tank today and I looked at his fingerprints and we're like, yes,
Disgusting, all of them.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the older, like, yeah, it was like, ah, yes. So here's a question: if Marcellus was a person, what kind of person would he be?
He'd be a grumpy old man who yells at you from his porch and tells you about his stories of the war.
Oh.
Okay. I think he would be a world traveler.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, I feel like he would be, you know, he'd be one of those people that's like, yeah, I backpacked through Europe the other day, and now I have a plane ticket to Prague, and I'm also going to Japan next month to live off the land and the rice paddies. Like, he'd be like that kind of person, you know? And he'd like have a blog. You have a blog, he'd be like, hey everybody, welcome to my TikTok. I'm here in Japan.
He doesn't do it in like a hipster way. He
No.
does it in like a I'm an intellect way.
Right. That's
Yeah.
my impression of
I'm
a white
studying
guy
culture.
being cultured, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
That was my impression.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
I feel like he'd be bougie too, like how he escapes to like get the good food. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, I went to Italy, so all I drink is espresso. I only drink there, like, I only eat tiramisu if it was like an Italian grandma, because that's the best kind. You're like, okay,
All right,
cool.
Marcellus.
All right, myself,
We
cool.
get it. You've been to Europe.
But I feel like he'd be endearing too. I do.
Yeah, in a charming way, not in a douchebag way.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh gosh, we're going through these questions. Okay, so how do the characters' relationships with family, biological or chosen, shape
Oof.
their lives?
That's
This
a
is
crazy ass question.
This is
Can
like
we
the
go
whole
by
book.
character?
Welcome.
This is like
Maybe
the whole
let's
book,
start
right?
with yeah. I guess we could start with we'll move on to like Cameron because I feel like he is kind of
Can we repeat the question?
so basically talk like hold on. How do the characters' relationships with family, biological or chosen, shape their lives?
Okay. We're starting with Cameron. Okay.
Yeah. I can start.
Go for it.
I think like Cameron has his two friends, like Elizabeth and Brad, and I feel like he has his aunt and that's like his real relative, but you know, both of it well at the time he doesn't know his dad and his mom basically abandons him, and so I think he has obviously and he was abandoned at 9, so he has some trauma with that abandonment trauma. And I feel like yeah, he just has some found family there. But it's still I think especially at the beginning that's a big part of his character is grappling with self-worth, um like his self-esteem, like being abandoned really affected him in his adult life too. About like, oh well, I'm not as good as my other friends because they had a perfect family, and then everybody else is like, but you're smart and you could have done it with or without your mom, you know, like you are capable. And I think him interacting, going up to so well because he's thinks that his dad is in Sowell Bay, so he goes up there and he interacts with Tova, unknowing with, and then their relationship develops. But it's like he can kind of find himself, and he gets a job, and he starts doing things for himself for the first time, and it's like, oh wait, like I am capable. Like I didn't need to be brought up a certain way to be happy with my life or be happy with myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Cam's story really demonstrates that found family side of things really well, because he's like tying a lot of his self-worth into like not having biological family or not feeling supported or understood or validated by biological family, but he just being, especially when he goes out to Soul Bay, just being the person that he is, who is like a kind, apparently throughout this book he seems very kind. It's like referenced at the beginning that maybe he was a bit of a mess, but for the rest of his like character development throughout the book, he seems like a good person, that he's kind and he's endearing, and so he like makes a family in Soul Bay between like literal found family and just friends, like the little Irish man at the grocery store who becomes his roommate essentially, that just being the person he is despite the fact that he feels like everyone's abandoned him, like he makes people come together.
And I want to add that I think a big part of his character is not just like because the self-worth is a big part, but also he uses that as an excuse. Like he's very much like, oh, the world is against me. I don't have like no one gives me any chance. Like that's how I'm like perceiving a lot of his behaviors at the beginning is just like,
all I did was show up late to
Yep.
work and they fired me.
Mhm.
That's not fair.
So he like doesn't take any responsibility for anything because he had some bad stuff happen to him, which okay. But
Yeah,
I think
kind of annoyed me at the beginning.
but I think it was his character development was so cool to see because like you were saying, Ashley, when he actually started doing things, he started like liking having responsibility and liking having like power over his life.
Yeah.
Feeling successful.
Yeah, he was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool to like have a job and also talk to people that might be scary to talk to and but I do like that it wasn't linear. Like he did have backslides, which was very realistic, which I liked as well. So but his whole thing with like Tova, because it said biological also, yeah. So I guess I'll talk about Tova. The whole thing with Tova was really cool because so at first I was trying to figure out who he was related to because I was like, he's got to be related to somebody. And I'm like, who is he related to? Because I was thinking that he was going to be like her great nephew or something. Because we had that whole exposition of like her brother dying or whatever. So I was like, oh, it's going to be someone from like his side. Like, I don't know. But then it ended up being a grandson, which is so cute. And but I liked how they revealed that was through Marcellus, and I loved that how they also revealed that Marcellus like knew Ethan, her son that has passed away at some point as well, which was really cool. I just liked how they tied that in. That was really interesting to me because that is true. Because so Marcellus Octopus, for those who did not read the book, Marcellus Octopus, he kind of is like that final piece of connection. Like if you hadn't figured it out, which I was kind of trying to figure it out, but if you hadn't figured it out, he was like talking about how they're like gate and like there were small like little details that they do that was like humans are so much more alike when they're genetically bonded than people realize.
Yeah, and he like makes a comment that like he's like they don't know it, but they're related.
Yeah, it was so cute. I was like, that's so good. Yeah, so I really like that.
And then I just realized this too, but it's like all the three of them because Cameron starts working at the aquarium because Tova, like, you know, she breaks her ankle or whatever, and he's like filling in for her. And it's like the three of them, she's like teaching him to be with Marcellus, and he's like, they're almost their own little thing too.
Yeah,
That's
they
true.
are.
Before they even learn that they're related, like she's kind of being like a little grandma to him.
She is. She's teaching him like important things like how to put the trash cans in correctly and doing things not half-assed and actually doing them like with integrity to do them, you know, which was really good.
Yeah. Right cloth on the glass so it doesn't streak.
And I do like how it wasn't like the author did not shove this in our face of like influence in my opinion, because like it was very small, but like when he first started hanging out with Tova, he just like, so Cameron's like has a camper that's like disgusting, and then he makes this offhanded comment about how like, and now the camper is, you know, a little cleaner and it smells like lemon and vinegar, and you're like, oh, so you're using what Tova gave you to clean your camper. And he's like it just shows that he's taking influence from her, which was such a like smart way to do that, instead of being like, and she's pretty cool and I like her, you know. It's like, oh, okay, trying to play cool and I like it.
Yeah. I also feel like on the flip side with Tova, I feel like with her, I feel like because she, when the book starts, like her husband's already dead, and she has like a whole community that wants to be there for her, but she's like, no. But they're like, you're sad and you're tired, and she goes, no. And it's like
me when I'm old.
It's like, I think she's struggling. It's almost like she's in denial, almost like she doesn't want to talk about it. She doesn't want to think about it. Like, no, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. And then it's like, oh, finally, like, I think too with discovering, and I like how they saved that basically for the very end, that she finds that Cameron is her grandson, because I think she just resigned to being like, well, I'm always going to have a missing part of me because my son died and now my husband's dead and my brother's dead, and it's like there will all be pieces missing from me. But then towards the end, like, she starts to open up to Ethan and to the Nitwits more, and she's like letting those people in finally, and then they kind of like put that little bow on top of like, and here's your grandson, here you go. But it's like she's already like let other people, her found family, in.
It led up very nicely to it.
Mm.
Yeah, it didn't feel like, and all right, this is the plot line I'm going to throw in to make sure everything ties together. Like it all led up super well to it.
Yeah, it did. It did. I liked it.
And I like that every character from the town and Ethan's life, not Ethan, Ethan's the grocery worker.
Yeah.
The Irish guy. Haha. I liked him.
He was so cute.
Every single character is related to this whole overarching story in some way. They've all touched it. Because even Cam's new little love interest, she briefly met Cameron's mother when she was contemplating taking her life following her boyfriend, who was Cam's dad, or Tova's son. And she found out she was pregnant, but
what's his name?
The baby just died. I can't remember.
Eric.
Yeah. And but she convinced her not. She talked to her and got her off the bridge where she was going to jump off.
Yeah.
So she's not related, and she never, like, I don't know, she and Cam are like still getting to know each other even at the end of the book. But I like that every single character introduced in the book is somehow connected to the story. It makes it all feel it makes the flow feel really good, and it makes it feel a lot more like convincing and I don't know, just more special.
Yeah, very intricate. I liked it.
Well thought out. Yeah. I like when you can tell when an author like has the book planned from the beginning. Like when they start it, they're like they know exactly where it's going, and it all works out so nicely. Like,
yes. I will say I love how, because the whole time too, I'm like, even towards the end, we're like, okay, we know Cameron is her grandson, but it's like, I would love to know what actually happened to Eric. Yeah. And I love in that interaction where she has with Avery, where she's like, yeah, I met this lady, and she just kept saying the bow. And in Tova's mind, she's like, he took the boat out, the wind went bad, the bow hit him in the head, and he fell in the water. Now she has that. I was just like, wow. And I thought it was so beautifully done too.
Because weren't they were investigating his case for the longest time, and eventually ruled it suicide. And Tova was like, there's no way, that there's got to be something else going on.
Yeah. So, and then can we talk about the horse that she finds, her and Cameron find in the house?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
I wanted to cry. I was like, oh.
Do you want to talk about that, Ashley, for people who may not know what you're talking about?
Yes, so I thought that was very cute. So her dad, Tova's dad, made her and her brother a bunch of these little wooden horses, and I think her brother took most of them and she had only a couple. And when Eric was really small, he chipped one of them. He like broke it, but she's like, whatever, kids are kids. And then she couldn't find it for the longest time. 30 years later, she finds out Cameron is her grandson, and she's letting him walk around the house, and she's like, "Yep, your great grandfather built this house. This is your father's room." And they're walking around, and Cameron used to be a construction worker, so he's like notices something in the floorboard. He's like, "Oh, this piece of wood is different than the rest." And Toba's like, "Huh? But I never noticed." And so he opens it, and it's like a little stash that Eric had. And so they're like pulling stuff out. There's like old snacks, and they're like, "Oh, this is cool." And then Tova sees the horse that Eric broke, and he fixed it, and he was gonna give it back to her, but he never did. And she's just like, another piece that is like now repaired and complete and has closure. Because I feel like too, for me, like every time she refers to Eric when he's like closer to the time of death, he's like, you know, not like rebellious, but he's just like doing his own thing, like not really, kind of being his own man. And she almost doesn't have like those moments with him as, you know what I mean, where it's like, oh, well, he doesn't care about his mom and dad. He's like going out with his friends, like he's probably got a girlfriend, like whatever. But it's like the horse is like oh, you're still my mom, and I want to fix this horse that I broke, and I love you. Like I feel like it's still like, I think about you. I don't know. That's how I saw that, and I was like,
Yeah, I did
so
too. It was so sweet. So sweet.
so sweet.
And such good closure on that story. And like, because Cameron gets his closure by just like finding confidence in him and self-fulfillment in his own life and in making his own life. But he also does get that piece of his biological family back and answers to questions he had about himself. And so everyone just gets such a nice little wrapped up ending.
Yeah.
And I love how in the end, because this book being Remarkably Bright Creatures, it has an octopus on the front. A lot of it's narrated by an octopus, so you're like, oh, they're talking about, and they talk about how Marcellus is like so much smarter than other octopi. And so you're like, oh, obviously, Remarkably Bright Creatures refers to the octopus, and I feel like ever since that documentary, the like My Octopus Teacher, people have been like obsessed with octopi and how smart they are, actually. But then to go through this whole thing where you're like, yeah, this smart octopus learning and solving a mystery, but then in the end he's like, despite how silly humans are, they're still remarkably bright creatures. And you're like, ah, damn, it's about humans the whole time.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. God, that's good. Do you guys have any questions? Because then I'll move into the fun ones. Because I was thinking about other questions, but they were not that good. So I was like, eh. Like some of them were
Glad
like.
to see you're prepared for book club, Ashley. I'm just kidding.
First of all, I always look for questions right before book club.
Same.
So, but really though, I looked them up, and it was like something like, what does this say about humans and animals? And I'm like,
Nope.
I want to talk about the book. I don't know. It's just stuff like that. Like, what does this say about nature and humanity? And I'm like, we're talking about this one octopus, and he helped this one lady reconnect with her grandson.
We're also on like round 2 of book club.
Yeah. I know.
My brain can't form those
So
thoughts.
I have a question.
No.
I do have a question. What did you guys think about the aunt? She's an interesting character.
Yeah, I liked her. I think she's just kind of classic, like, lady who was probably like, I'm not having kids. And then kid's sister comes in and is like, I'm an addict. And she's like, well, you can't be taking care of a 9-year-old, so let me take him. Like.
Crazy aunt living her own life.
But she also did not tell him.
who knows more than she's letting on. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, why? Maybe she felt like she was protecting him in a way.
She knew where his mom was, like, for a while, up until a few years ago, kind of thing.
Oh,
And knew
yeah.
that the man he went to Soul Bay for was not
Was
his
not her
father.
dad.
Yep. She knew, yeah, she knew so much. Like, she knew so much about, like, his life and, like, denied him that part. And I was like, I understand why, but also,
yeah.
you don't see that, because this is her kid. Let's be real. It's her kid. She raised him, you know? And it's like, you don't see, like, the turmoil your kid's going through with you not talking about these subjects because you're an avoidant. Because she's a hoarder. She's addicted also, just in a different way. She also struggles with addiction. She struggles with hoarding. And
maybe she's hoarding him, being like, you don't need your deadbeat parents. I'm your parent.
Which makes sense because my thought was, because the reason why I brought this up was because to me, she seemed so cold. Like when he said he was gonna go, like she just like was like, all right, bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I was like, if my kid went up to see someone who I know is not his dad, you know, I would be like, you know, I don't know.
Okay,
I would.
Let's sit down and talk about it. Let me tell you what I know. Like,
yeah, like I would talk about it, or I would be like, hey, you know, tell me why you want to go up there, or let's plan. We'll make a plan. We'll both go up there. You know, something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I just felt like her, and then like and then she gave him the money, right? It's just like, you don't gotta pay me back, and it's her cruise money or whatever. But she doesn't like check in on him. So
she called him that one time and she was drunk because he sent the money back.
Your neighbor.
Oh yeah.
And to me, here's what my thing. I think that the aunt was also a bad mom. I think she was avoidant. I think she didn't talk to him. I think she did the bare minimum, because the whole time throughout the book, she never gives more than bare minimum of what she's expected. She's like, okay, well, I have to give him money, so I'll give him money. Okay, well, I have to check in to make sure he landed. Actually, no, he called her. And she's like, why are you calling me for? Oh, you landed? Okay, great. You know what I mean? Like, it's always oh, you're going to trim my hedges? Please trim my garden, please. You know what I mean? So it's like, she did not do anything. And she also had no character development. She stayed the same.
Yeah.
She didn't do nothing. Nothing different. And I don't know, she pissed me off because I was like, you don't care, not in the slightest. And then when he confronts her, she's just like, well, I don't know what you wanted me to do. I don't know. Tell the truth? Say you're sorry? Like, don't be dismissive. Like, she was just dismissive of him the whole time.
He was a burden to her. Like,
yep,
you were my sister's, you know, now you're my burden. Ooh, yep. I didn't think about it like that. Because I honestly forgot about her, really.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like on the ride home, because he was like, I'm leaving. That guy wasn't my dad. This was a mistake. And then as the further away he got, he was like, I'm not going back to that. I'm going to turn around.
Oh, I love that. I was so sad at first. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Especially with the whole thing with Avery, that I was like, no, it's a misunderstanding.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah. But anyway, she pissed me off. She was my least favorite character. She made me mad the whole time. I was mad at her. I was like, you suck. You're literally probably almost just as bad as his actual mom. Because, I mean, honestly, I would honestly say she's worse. Because, yeah, his mom left him, but his mom also experienced a very hard trauma of seeing someone fall to their death and drown in the dark. and then she was pregnant and alone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have a little bit more grace for that. Not saying she's great.
No, right, but it's like, yeah, because that could be like because everyone, whenever they mention his mom, are like, she loves you, like she did that because that was best for you, like, and it's like thinking about being in her shoes, it's like that might be a hard. She might like, and also being so young, she was 18 when she was pregnant with him. It's like thinking about being a kid and then you're trying to raise a kid and they're like, where's my dad? And you're like, oh, I saw him die. Like, how do you,
Ooh.
you know?
Yep.
Or it's like, how do you, even like when he gets older, it's like you're still trying to grapple with your own trauma and then he's asking questions and it's like, I can't even cope with what, I can't tell you because I can't even cope with it. Because I think because Avery's only 2 years older than Cam.
Correct.
So I think when he met his mom, it was can't like because I think the aunt said she went up to get her and didn't tell Cam. I think that was that time.
Yes. So she went down to California pregnant. And that's when the aunt went to get her, was when she ran away. And then she called her, come get me, I'm pregnant. Comes down. Then she leaves Cam and goes back up to Solvay. And that's when Avery meets her. Mm-hmm. Is when she's up there after she's already abandoned him. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Yeah. And I think she was just like, I can't do it.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Man.
Okay, that was my question. So thank you.
Okay.
I just wanted to I wanted to rag on her because she pissed me off the whole time. All right.
You want to know a character? This is I know you guys aren't gonna be happy when I say this.
Oh, okay.
But a character that kind of annoyed me.
Cassidy perked up a little, yeah.
A character that kind of annoyed me was Ethan. And I know you were like,
I knew you were gonna say that.
Drama
he
queen?
did kind of like meddle in things he didn't really need to.
That was like, and it was so many times, like, especially he's like, I really like Tova, like, but then he's sharing her.
Being weird.
Yes, and then, like,
weird little
if I was Tova, I was like, I wouldn't go to that store again.
It's the only grocery store.
I'd be like, Nitwits, I'm old, grocery shop for me, thank you. But, like, or, yeah, he's like, I really respect her, like, I want her to have closure and stuff, but he's talking to everyone, and she's caught him multiple times sharing his business, and I'm like...
He's a gossip.
He's a gossip.
And it's like, oh, I know it's a small town, blah, 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 but I would have been like...
But at the same time, he's the one who found answers because of that check.
It's true.
I think
he's the gossip, but he knows things.
Mm-hmm. I think he is a great example of good intentions does not mean a good outcome. You know? Like, he has really good intentions. He wants to help, but in that sense, he's still intrusive. He's very intrusive. He very much does not respect boundaries. He self-inserts himself. He also, like, you know, he daydreams a lot about certain things, and he's just a little disorganized all over the place. Like, yeah.
He's just an Irish man.
But yeah, I think that he struggles with boundaries and he is intrusive, and I think that's very fair that you say that he annoyed you with that, because that's like his character flaw, which I will commend this author for giving every single character a character flaw, if not multiple, which is hard to do successfully, and me coming out and liking still most of your characters.
Yeah. Because I think too, like, there were times I liked Ethan, and then he'd be like, oh, I've got to figure something out, and I'm like, no, you don't. It's actually none of your business.
You actually cannot do anything. you know?
And it's like, I'm
Sad.
glad they didn't end up together because I was like, I would be so, because I feel like their friendship on Tova's side is out of guilt. Like, she feels bad for him, kind of thing. And then he's like, I'm obsessed with you. And she's like, oh my God, okay, cherries, please. Ring them up. Okay, goodbye. Like, oh my God, he's calling me
Yeah.
again. Let
And
me
because
ignore
she's
that.
like clearly not in a space for it. Like she's like one of those widows who's like, I just
Can't do it.
can't.
Yep.
No. And he
And it
didn't
also, yeah,
fully
sorry.
respect that. Oh, you're fine.
Well, I think also the nitwits too, which there were times where I liked them, but like this is a time where I didn't, where they're like, just go on a date with him. It's like,
no,
she doesn't like him. Stop. And they're like, but you're lonely. And it's like, just be her friend. Well, God forbid that's enough for a woman to just be friends. Like, her husband dies and she just wants her friends. God forbid.
She just wants to hang out with people and not be alone.
Right. She didn't
here you
need
are.
She didn't need a man.
No. Just her grandson.
Also, I think it's this shows how like ageist, or how ageist people can be when they're like, oh, well, Tova's old, so she needs to do this and that, and she needs to be taken care of, and everybody has an opinion of what she needs to do and who needs to take care of her. And Tova's like, I still got a job. I'm still taking care of this cat. I'm cleaning out my house. Like, I'm fine. Like, stop. And I was like, go off, Tova. Tell them. They're like, it wouldn't be bad to be with Ethan. You need somebody. And she's like, barf. No. No. Yeah. Okay, so who is your favorite character?
Tova is your favorite, Cass?
Tova?
Yeah.
Do you want to expand on that? You can tell we're so dead from hating Gregory.
I know. It took it out of me.
It took a lot. Hatred takes a lot out of you.
It do. I don't know. I just liked her. I liked that she was her own person throughout the whole book and didn't really accept other people's shit. And she had her moment when she was like, I'm just gonna go live at this stupid little retirement home that I made fun of. But I think in a way that was her like having control and not like getting away from people telling her what to do and being like, well, I'm not going to lose my autonomy if I just give it up myself. But she came through it. But I just like that she was her own person throughout it and persistent in doing what she wanted, and in her beliefs too, just surrounding, I mean, where she is, where she stands with her husband and her beliefs about her son. Like, she's just firm in it, and I respect that. I just liked her. She was a nice little old lady, and she was stubborn and sassy.
My favorite was also Tova. She was my favorite. I knew she was going to be my favorite as soon as they introduced her and she was talking to the fish. Hello, starfish. Good seeing you, eels. And I was like, oh my God, you're so cute. I love you. And she just got cuter and cuter. And she's just like, I really loved that she became she's like, at the beginning, she's seen as very rigid. Like, you know, she has a way of doing things that are correct. Like, there are certain things that you do that are correct. And she's like very rigid. And then she, you know, goes through her like character development and you see her like become more and more a little bit rebellious to the point where she sets the octopus free, which, spoiler alert, this is a spoiler section. She sets the octopus free. He's dying, and on his last dying day, she's like, "I'm gonna take you out to the fucking ocean, and we're dumping you out there, and you're gonna have a free last day of life." And
that blew my mind. Because he's a giant octopus, right? This whole time, I kept going back and forth. I'm like, this is a giant octopus, right?
Yeah.
Because he's just crawling up her and wandering through the halls, and so you think one of those little octopus, but I'm like, no, this is a fucking giant octopus.
yeah, he's huge.
She puts him in a bucket and drags him across town. I'm like, wait a second, are we still talking about the giant octopus?
Yeah, I just love it so much. I just see this little old lady hauling this giant octopus. Oh,
With his tentacles flying out the side. Golly.
So cute. She's just cracking me up, and her humor was just really good, and just her her willingness to be so caring towards people, but also that it's that very matter of fact caring.
Yeah.
That I really like. She ruined Ethan's shirt, and she goes and spends $2,000 on this Grateful Dead shirt that she ruined, and she's like, "Here you go." And he's like, "You didn't have to do that." And she's like, "Well, I ruined your I ruined your shirt. I have to give it back to you now." And he's like, "What?" And I just love that so much. It's so cute. She's like, "It's common sense. You ruin something, you replace it." So good.
Yeah, and then she's like, chills. That's all it was. Yeah.
Ah.
Oh my gosh.
What about you, Ash? Favorite character?
It's Tova.
Mm.
I feel like my favorite, I feel like Tova and Marcellus. Just anytime they're together, I'm like,
they're so cute.
Oh, I love this.
So cute.
So cute. Yes, what you guys said. I love her. I also love I think I want to be her when I'm old. Be like, no, don't put me in a home. Yeah, and I'm gonna be that old lady where they're gonna be like, stop, and I'll be like, I'm not gonna stop.
Stop doing that.
And then break something, and they're like, we told you, and I'll be like, shut up. But soundtrack, I don't have one.
Ashley.
I never do. I don't know. I feel like I think more of if this is a movie, what would this movie look like?
Or
versus
show.
How it would sound.
Yeah.
I would go movie or show.
Egg and Spoon, I was like, it was better for me to imagine it as a Studio Ghibli, but also he described Baba Yaga as to me it looked like the witch from Spirit of the Way, how he described her. So I was like, oh, so this is how I'm gonna imagine this book now. But this book, I'm like, it would be a live action.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, they're actually. Did you know they're making a Netflix adaptation? It comes out soon.
What?
Yeah. Do you want me to see when it comes out?
Yes. What? I'm gonna cry. Oh.
It comes out. Let's see.
Oh my gosh, excuse me.
It's gonna be a movie. I don't know if they have a release date yet, but they announced in May that they are making it right now.
I love that.
Yep.
Yay! Oh my gosh.
So, because I was like, well, this is a great segue. Let's see. So,
they're using
playing
some indie pop songs in this.
So playing Tova is Sally Field, which I think is an excellent choice.
Let me see.
You guys need a moment to look up Sally.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I think Sally Field's great. And then Lewis Pullman is playing Ethan, or not Ethan. Oh my God, getting the names mixed up. Cameron, I believe. Yep. which I think is a good. I think that's a good. He looks like
Yeah.
a Cameron. He looks like a Cameron. That looks good. I haven't seen anything he's in, so I'm excited to see how that works out. Bill Pullman's son? I don't know. Let me see. Yeah. Oh my god, that is Bill Pullman's son! What the fuck? Bill Pullman! Guys, do you guys know who Bill Pullman is? Look up Bill Pullman. You'll know who that is when you see his face. He was in Sleepless in Seattle, While You Were Sleeping, The Equalizer, Independence Day, The Sinner, which is one of my favorite shows. I love The Sinner. He's so good. Yeah, that is his son. And then let's see. Well.
Oh yeah. Okay, I recognize him in his younger pictures. He was in Spaceballs.
Yes, he was. Yep. So, looks like it's gonna be a good cast so far.
Who's playing Marcellus?
I don't know who the actor is.
Oh yeah.
It just says Field and Pullman are joined by Colm Meaney, Joan Chen, Beth Grant, and Sophia Black-Diella. That's all it says. It doesn't say who's playing who.
Like who's playing what?
I can type in cast and see if they released it. Let me go to IMDb.
Oh my gosh.
Nope. They don't have it. They don't have it yet. They don't have it yet.
Damn.
Nope. But yeah, yeah, me too.
Gonna get his lucky break.
Aw, Ash, I love you being here.
Spend my lemons.
Yeah. Soundtrack to answer. Okay, so answer your question. What I would like for this movie soundtrack to sound like. I would love. I gotta think about it. I need to think about what I want. Hold on. I thought I knew.
Yeah, it's like the parts where she's in the aquarium. I don't know. It's just I don't think about music when I'm reading.
I kind of want. So here's the vibe I want. Cozy. I just want a cozy, warm sounding soundtrack. I don't want any pop songs in there. I want it to be an OG original soundtrack, and I want it to be cozy, warm, inviting.
It's gonna use that song that like every coming of age movie has been using, where it's like, I'm going through changes, but I don't know how. You know that song?
No.
No.
What? It's like perfect. I'm growing right now song, and I feel like it's used in a lot of recent movies.
Scroll up on channel points. What do you mean? Okay, hold on.
What's happening?
Zen! What the fuck? Sorry. Zen, what the fuck? How did I miss that, Zen? Zen, you did that an hour ago. How did I miss that?
How dare you?
Zen, thank you. Oh, because you're a bitch. Yeah, I see now. Zen, thank you for redeeming a cooking stream. You can DM me if you want me to cook anything specific.
Fun.
Thanks for redeeming a cooking stream. I'm excited. Maybe it'll take me 5 hours to cook again. Oh, Ash, any other questions? You guys look like you're not awake. You guys
Well,
look,
I've been yawning this entire time.
you guys look
from
rough.
the beginning, so don't judge that.
I'm
It's
struggling
also,
a little bit.
I'm awake.
hold on. I'm trying to think. We did favorite character, soundtrack. I guess characters that annoyed us, but I think that's it.
Okay. Any other thoughts before we conclude book club?
No.
You guys sound so enthusiastic. Oh my god. I'm not making beef Wellingtons then. I refuse. I'm not gonna have Gordon Ramsay yell at me on the internet. I refuse to do that.
Make Cornish hens.
And don't catch them on fire.
Burn them. Burn them.
It was such a sad dinner because not only did we almost burn down Kylie's apartment, but I think that was the night that I discovered I can't eat meat that looks like the animal that it came from.
Mm-hmm.
You did, yeah. And that was your birthday dinner.
It was
my birthday dinner, and y'all were just tearing into those baby chicken bodies, and it was traumatizing.
Me and Jacob were fighting over the burnt one. I was like, I got these on the burnt one. He's like, dang it.
Damn.
I loved, like, literally there's so much smoke, and we were like, Kylie, are you okay in there? And you're like, yeah. And then the fire alarm started going off, and we were like, she's literally holding the pan, and there's literal flames coming off of the pan, and she's throwing it in the sink.
And your weird little neighbors like, oh, what's going on?
That was so funny. Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I was calm at least.
Was that my pandemic birthday, or was that before?
That was before the pandemic.
My pandemic birthday, we drank chocolate milk because I remember that was my 21st birthday, and Jacob offered to go buy us drinks and come back home, and I was like, I just want chocolate milk.
Yeah.
So I drank chocolate milk on my 21st birthday.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yep, that was a good one. That was the Harry Potter one, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Was the
That one was
21st
good.
birthday Harry Potter?
No,
I feel like it wasn't. No.
The Cornish hen one, because that
Maybe
was
that one
when,
was after.
Isabel wanted to be like, we should do her birthday Barbie theme, and me and Kylie were like, you should shut up.
I literally was like, I feel like Cassidy is not into Barbies. So no. I'm not gonna do that.
It's like, guys, really? And we were like, no, don't say that again. We're doing Harry Potter. Stop.
Oh, that was so funny.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, before we say things on the internet that we don't need to say, thank you everyone so much for coming to book club. Thank you so much for coming to book club. So announcements before we skedaddle off. July 3rd is our next book club. It is soon because technically we had to push book club around. So July 3rd is our next book club. July will have 2 book clubs, one at the beginning, one at the end. July's book is June. Well, July 3rd is June's book, which is Written in the Stars by somebody. I don't remember.
Yep.
I have it right here. Wait.
Patriotic book club. Actually, no. It's gay book club. It's lesbian book club, Zen, because it's June.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, who was it by?
Oh, Alexandria Belfiore. Belfiore.
Belfiore. There you go.
Yeah.
Gay-triotic, I'll accept. I'll accept gay-triotic. Yeah, so we'll do July, and then I was going to have the books lined up for July, August, and September. However, Ashley's going to change up her book. So I'm going to announce that in the book club first. Or in the book club. In the Discord first. If you want to come into the Discord, feel free to come in. I'll announce that, and then whenever Ashley decides, I'll post that in the Discord, and then I'll announce it in the next stream. Next stream will be, I don't fucking know. Don't know. We're not done today.
Don't worry about it.
I'll probably stream for another hour or so I'll be here.
Oh my goodness.
It's only 2.5 hours so far. I usually stream for like 4 or 5 hours.
Oh.
Dang. I'm gonna go hop in my bed.
I'm going to sleep.
Any other? Oh, just a reminder also that our charity stream for the charity stream for the.
Easy for you today. You guys gotta stick around for like 2 more hours of this.
I hate it here. The charity concert stream, Pop for a Purpose, is going to be August 2nd. If you guys want to pop in for that, it's for the Trevor Project.
And your calendars.
It's going to be exciting. We're going to do Decades of Pop. I'm going to be in a cute outfit, maybe. I don't have the cute outfit yet, so we're going to...
Maybe she won't be in any outfit.
Oh.
That is against Twitch guidelines, and I would never do that.
Damn. Kylie gets OnlyFans.
I would have to get paid $1 million because I am a therapist, so I wouldn't be able to do my other job. I'm not about to do my other job doing that, so you guys gotta pay me like $1 million. Anyway,
guys, come through for her.
OnlyFans, sponsor me. No, please don't. Anyway, I can't even, we're on a video call. I can't even see Cassidy anymore. Ashley looks like she's red in the face, ready to go to bed. They're gonna go to sleep. I am going to be back in just a few minutes after I say bye to my friends, and we'll play something, maybe. Okay, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for coming to book club. Goodbye.